you don't know where to begin, better ask Win.
Shane, good to see you. This video is for anyone who is on a fixed income. We are going to talk through some smart strategies to save money. The cost of living has rapidly increased in the past few years, and for most people, our income has barely kept pace, which becomes increasingly stressful for people who are on a fixed income. So what are some strategies to save money on insurance premiums, Shane? They keep going up
Well,
and
I know they really do. And we know it's even worse in some states. I know Florida has it even worse than Arizona does, but we see our car insurance premiums, our homeowners insurance premiums continuing to skyrocket over time, especially as the value of these objects in the case of cars goes down and the insurance goes up somehow. And it's pretty tough to deal with. So we want to look at things like that and go to our insurance brokers, our property and casualty professionals and say, hey, let's look at a way that we can maybe get this money down. Maybe in retirement, you don't have the budget to support those high limits, and say, okay, hey, I'm driving less now. Let's reduce that. Let's reduce the premiums, or let's reduce, deductibles or some of the coverage in a way that makes sense for us. Also, you can go around to different carriers a lot of times, and they'll give you a new customer incentive or something like that. So make sure you talk with your insurance professional about that and find a way to squeeze a little bit out of those insurance premiums, because I'll bet if you just look, you can find a way to do it.
Yeah, good point. So how about those other necessary expenses like groceries?
Groceries are getting pretty brutal. I don't know about you,
Yeah.
Erin, but every time we
Tough.
go to the grocery store, my wife and I, it seems like it's more and more and more money. So really the best way to look at that is to actually sit down with a budget, just like this example here. It's kind of an illustrated version, but we want to make sure we know what we're spending, we know what we're buying, and that we're not just letting that grocery bill get out of control, because it very easily can. Other things like when you're going out to eat or you're going out to get those drinks or those coffee drinks, make sure you're not spending an enormous amount of money on that. That can add up to $100, $200 a week if you're not being careful with those sorts of things. So make sure you keep an eye on those budgets, especially for food and drink.
So also, if you are about to retire, you need to ask yourself, have that honest conversation and see if you've adequately planned for inflation, or possibly considering a hybrid retirement where you work a little bit still.
Right. And those hybrid retirements are starting to make a lot more sense
Yeah.
for folks that need a few extra bucks in retirement, especially with that unknown thing that we're calling inflation that's really affecting all of us so much. And there's nothing wrong with working, 5, 10 hours a week to help kind of support yourself in retirement if you don't think your assets quite have the capability of doing it on their own.
Especially if you get healthcare with that. That's a good point.
Right.
So last, of course, you need to invest wisely. In retirement, it is crucial to strike a balance between preserving capital and generating sufficient returns to combat inflation. And this is where working with a professional can really help.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about when you get to retirement is, okay, now we've got this chunk of money, this nest egg built up. We have to preserve it, but we also have to use it to fund our lifestyle. And we have to really strike a balance, like you said, between how much can we take without depleting it at the same time. And that's where working with an investment advisor or a financial advisor who really specializes in income planning can help you strike that balance perfectly to get you the lifestyle and retirement that you want while not depleting the assets that you have.
hmm Well, Shane, if somebody would like to speak with you, maybe to find some savings in their budget or otherwise, what's the best way to reach you?
Best way to reach us is online or via phone. Our website is winstonandcompanies.com, or visit us on the phone at 602-456-1928.
Great. Shane, thank you.
Thanks, Erin.
Got a plan for your retirement, 'cause you know it's just down the road. But if you don't know where to begin, better ask Win.